There we go, let's continue to run. Last time we beat Tide Man, Missile Man, and we made it to the intro stage. I talked about how Rock is just as balanced as Roll, and here we go on to another stage. This time is Roll. Personally, Drake Man's stage is one of my favorite stages. All the music in this stage, it's fast-paced. Platforming is amazing. It's super fast-paced and fun to play as for Roll, and Mega Man makes some of these sections easier, like this section with the fireflies that Roll has to precisely jump over. Mega Man can just use charge shots. Another reason why Mega Man is just as effective. Here's some simple platforming, fast-paced, just like how I like it. Here you have to go super fast in order to, make it to the end and not get burnt. Blast Missile dispatches these octopus batteries easily. And once you make it to the end, you get a letter. Roll's double jump makes this stage extremely fun, but then again, also extremely fragile. It's like, not exactly a glass character since they don't have the power, but it's like, I don't know, a glass ladder? I don't know any terms. Anyway, over here is a secret that I can't reach since I'm missing an extremely important utility. So let's just move on. Give me a second. Here's the current menu, by the way. Right now, one of the things I love about this stage is its fast-paced movement and just satisfying to beat as a Roll. As Mega Man, not as fun, but still incredibly great. Here, these, whatever they were called again, enemies, whenever they fall in the lava, they split into 4 blasts of fire and damage you. Here, you can take a secret route. Now, if you remember the intro stage, you definitely would not be able to figure out where we are right now. The mystery is just too big. The enemies don't give you a hint at all, trust me. I would never lie, unless it was funny. Here we reach our first secret boss. And it's Fireman. Here what you want to do is jump over the first one, jump over the second one, and make sure when you pass over it, you continue moving. For this attack, you can just precisely time it as Mega Man, or just use a double jump to abuse it as Roll. Precise platforming and space management is extremely important in this fight. You can make it over that without the double jump. It's just way easier with it. So this fight generally is easier as Roll than Mega Man since Mega Man can't double jump, but then again, Mega Man has the advantage of being able to actually deal damage. Fireman can also juke you with, that attack where he shoots the firestorm above you instead of straight ahead, like normal. so watch out for that. Aside from that, pretty simple fight. Bit difficult if you're not very good at it, but once you've done it as many times as I have, it's easy. Here you can stock up on some ammo and health, so you can reach the boss. If you reach those eyes, that means you're close to the boss. This is Drake Man, fast-paced, just like his stage. Quick reactions, but most of his attacks are easy to dodge if you can react to them in time. If you can't, well then that happens. Weakness is shield bubble, which I'm going to use because Roll can't deal with anything reliably. Also detonate the shield bubble early, which I don't think I mentioned yet. You can detonate it early by pressing the fire button again. And just in case you're about to die there, you can do that. And here we get one of the weaker weapons in the game, Fire Breath. This weapon, it's like a faster buster that when you hit an enemy, it explodes into 4 shots, kind of like the smaller enemies that jumped into the lava before. You can also melt the ice blocks as you saw, which is going to be important for this next stage. Which I'm going to play as for Mega Man, because it's super fun as Mega Man. Reactor Man. Here, Reactor Man is all about, reacting. Those lasers may give you PTSD, but don't worry, this isn't Rainbow Man stage or Mega Man Unlimited or Quick Man stage. This is actually a good game design mechanic. A good game mechanic, sorry. Here, these lasers instantly kill you. Mega Man 2. But, in case some people don't know it. You can shoot these switches to disable specific. It's important to know, since here we are. Here you have to be fast, but they always give you time to react during these puzzle segments, unlike Rainbow Man. Here's an item that normally you'd be able to reach, but since I don't have a special weapon, I can't. Here's a mini-boss. One of these are mini-bosses easy. Just... Again, Mega Man takes less damage, it's easier to use head. Here's a secret route in order to get an item. You can pass through here to get some health and weapon energy. Here, if you fall and you die, I don't know why I bothered putting that laser. Sure, it looks cool, but it's pointless. And meanwhile, I'm getting lucky and should have gone to the lottery. I should not have gone to the lottery. For some reason, controls locked up. Oh, doesn't matter. That shouldn't be a regular occurrence, so don't let that off, but... Here you can see me using the Fire Breath to beat. Sure, the Buster works fine. Special weapons are cool. This thing gets introduced before getting launched into your face, unlike Mega Man Unlimited. And since you know what to do, you can actually figure out what they're doing, instead of having to blindly guess. Here's a secret path you can go through. You can get some goodies before you enter. Pray you don't fall into spikes. Now, if you played a certain Mega Man fan game before, it should totally not remind you of anything. victory has to linger. Those daggers mean absolutely nothing. They are totally just generic daggers that have nothing to do with the boss. Please ignore this background, it is totally not important. And oh boy, here we go. We reach Dagger Man from Mega Man Super Fighting Robot. This boss isn't one of my favorites, mostly because of how they handled him, making all his moves random. This attack though, that's fun. But those dagger slashes being inconsistent, I don't like it. Sometimes he does a double slash, sometimes he does a... I forgot what it was called. I think it was called Flash Dagger? Whatever. It's annoying that it's inconsistent. Sometimes when he's close to you, he does a dash attack. Sometimes when he's close to you, he does the Flash Dagger. Other times, he does a double slash. That's my problem with him. Inconsistent. I highly recommend bringing the weakness to his fight. You're decent at Mega Man games, or just reaction time, should be able to beat him. You have to focus. Charge shot really helps here, since you see how much damage he does compared to me. And once you beat him, you can be relaxed and no longer have to witness the background. There's nothing wrong with it, I just said it anyway. Here we can get an item from Eddie, and move on up the stage in our life. Here we get introduced to a gimmick. Great, introducing a gimmick before getting thrown into it. If only more games did that. Here, now that we know about the gimmick and what it does, we can predict what's going to happen here. These electric tellies are immune to all damage, but they don't home in anymore, so you can easily bait them out. But they're also faster, so fast pace and reaction timing. Reaction. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. All you know is that Reactor Man's stage is good because it teaches you what's going to happen before throwing you into it, and when it throws you into it, it's not absurd. Unlike Mega Man 2, where you can't know what's happening until you get thrown into it. This used to be one of my least favorite stages before I actually got good at it. Once you get good at the stage, it's really fun. At least most Mega Man games in a nutshell. Not as fun the first time through, but more fun after. Here we reach one of my favorite bosses in the game. Man. He's fast-paced, reaction-based, and he has good tells. You can look at the sprite to know, too. I might not be giving a demonstration of him right here, but he's a great boss. You can see his Buster charge up when he's about to shoot the lasers, so that's fair. You can always... he consistently does big waves when he falls. Great thing about this boss is consistency and the amount of tells it has. If it wasn't for any of those, this would easily be a bad boss, but considering how well designed it is, I love it. Super fun to just mess around with, weaknesses or not. Which is why I went after it with no weaknesses. His weapon, on the other hand, not one of my favorites. Charge laser. It's powerful, but I just personally don't like it. It uses up too much energy too fast, and it barely has any uses aside from charging that generator right there. Also, here's our next utility item. Beat the bird. Now, whoops. Unlike every other Mega Man game to ever exist, this doesn't just deal damage. Now it's actually a utility item. which surprises me considering how small the bird is, but what am I going to do about it? Well, let's continue. As Roll, since this is a platforming heavy stage, I recommend going Roll, but the boss is pretty annoying, even as Mega Man because of the damage they deal. Sure, my point before was that not all the bosses deal absurd damage, but some bosses, yeah, didn't exactly have the same thought process when making them. This is one of the enemies that is way easier as Mega Man, but harder as Roll. Since as Mega Man, one charge shot is enough to kill them, but as Roll, you gotta spam them out, spawning a bunch of spiders, which you gotta spam out too, and it's just a big waste of time. Here are these night enemies. They're completely different depending on where they are. I like them. Here's one of the situations where I kicked myself in the face for not knowing the solution to. Here, before, I used Beat Lift, but you can just use Shield Bubble. It's just as easy. And effective. Now, you'll never figure out who this boss is. The mystery will remain forever. Now. Skullman from Mega Man 4. Missing the long health charge up. Aside from that, completely different. I was about to say identical, but no, it's different. Shoots out 4 skulls, and then they boomerang back towards him, runs towards you, charges them up in a ball, and then fires it at you. It's a pretty fun boss, but does a lot of damage as Roll. Here you can get a health item, which you're gonna need after that. And here you reach one of the weaker segments. Those spikes instantly kill you. For some people it may be fun, but for me it just isn't. I really don't like instant death, and the fact that it's used as a gimmick in this stage, not very good. It's just like Plug Man stage from Mega Man 9. Not one of my favorites. Here's another reason why this isn't one of my favorites. Blocks. They're back. And full force, too. Here you absolutely have to memorize them, otherwise you instantly die. Oh hey, that reminds me of a certain stage. Double jump is basically required here. Really isn't, but I don't know. For me, I just have an extremely difficult time in this section. Here, these night guys have a lot of health, and they charge at you. Here, you can reach a secret area if you have Beat Lift as Roll, or Rush Coil as Mega Man. And you can see Nightman training against Yamato Man. If you destroy his Yamato Man tower, he stops, and you get a free E-Tank. Now I have 1 E-Tank. Let's just move on. This boss is pretty annoying in my opinion. Spawns an extremely large amount of enemies to annoy you while you're just trying to beat them. And the hitboxes on some of his attacks are super annoying. Here, the best solution is to just spam it out and pray. Once you destroy the bell, you've reached the checkpoint, and you no longer have to fight him. Here's more blocks. My favorite. That guy falls into the void. Okay. That section is way easier as Roll than Mega Man. which is why I decided to play role. The letters are extremely helpful. You'll find out later. Here, these ball things deal an extreme amount of damage. You do not want to get hit by those. Even if you don't fall into spikes, you're basically just dead. Also, that's an annoying tease. I don't like that. You can get it, but still. Also, being that close to instant death, not my favorite. Segment where I'm going to use Shield Bubble. Just kidding, I'm going to get hit, because I'm bad at video games. Oh hey, that worked. Neat. Now I reached a boss, which I'm not going to use a single special weapon in yet, because I'll die instantly. Here's Ghost Woman. Boss of annoying hitboxes, annoying attacks, generally extremely annoying. Appear behind you, and just do that. You get unlucky, you die. Here I'm making them look easier than they really are, but just wait, I'm not using special weapons since I already know I'm going to die. It's basically impossible not to. And here you basically have to give up on all your hopes and dreams because they hit you with one single attack. Their weakness is Charge Laser, which is extremely effective, but why? Why does that have to be the only viable method of beating them? Get hit once, and yeah. You see the amount of damage they deal? It's insane. Thank God they die quickly to their weakness though. If it wasn't for that, this would be a way worse boss than it is. Right now, I just hate it. One of the only bosses in this game that I absolutely despise. But here we are. Soul Trap. This weapon brought me grief and anger. You can aim it, you can capture small enemies with it. It's not that good. They make it look better in this little trailer thing. I really don't like this weapon at all. Here, let's move on to the boss. Again, or not the boss, the stage. Next stage. Beetle Lady. It's a stage with bosses. You can see Plant Man running away. They're still here. Let's beat them in a race. Here, those guys can destroy those bricks if you don't have Blast Missile, which is important to know for some people. Alright, down here you can also get a secret extra life. Pretty helpful. Here, these yellow, whatever they're called, they turn into butterflies if you leave them alive for too long, and then they take more hits and fly around and are extremely annoying to hit. Also, more spikes, my favorite. Here you have to be careful, but also be brave, because these Rhino Beetles, they charge at you, but you can also use them as platforms, leading to that happening. So this part's stressful. Here you have to be fast in order to get the letter. If you're too slow, you fall in the spike pit. Here you reach a section where they reference a game I don't like. What is this platform design, actually? This is really just perfect emulation of Mega Man 9 because I really hate it. Don't even bother trying to kill those guys. They take a billion hits. Not worth it at all. Here's the boss. They deal a lot of damage with one of their attacks, and the other two are decently balanced, aside from the fact that they're completely imbalanced. And once you beat them by abusing their weakness like you should, you never have to look at Mega Man 9 ever again until like 10 hours into the game. Just kidding, the game doesn't last 10 hours. By the way, this is the final stage I'm going to be playing for today, since I'm pretty sure the video's gone on for long enough. You can already hear my ranting and my frustrations. If that spy killed me, I would have been extremely angry. Those acorns fall, which is a good thing to demonstrate it because more acorns. You can also knock them down by shooting them. For some reason, Rush doesn't like platforms. You can also destroy enemies with them, which is amazing. Dog, please. No. I think it's gone. Oh, you could have just used that. Whoops. Here's one of the reasons why a charge shot is so effective. Boom. Gone. It was never, like it never existed. Were you existing? Too bad. Here's the charge shot. Also, here's one of the practical uses for Blast Missile. For some reason, butterflies. You can get a secret. Is an extra life, which you're gonna need. Here's the boss, which is weak to trap, and I don't like. They can trap your little drones inside the soul trap bubble, which is the one time where the soul trap bubble actually becomes effective, surprisingly. You can't aim the soul trap either. You just bump into it in a certain direction and pray that it works. Here's a new special weapon, Hose. Beetle drone. Well, it's a beetle drone. It shoots enemies, flies around, takes a few hits. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's like a better Hornet Chaser. And here's Rush Jet. You can fly around, knock down Eddie, not get an E-Tank, sadly. Here you have to double tap the rush button, which is kind of weird sometimes, but aside from that, yep, that's it for now. I'll see you next time, and goodbye. Bye.